A common problem facing consumers of electric power these days is having to deal with installations where enough power simply is not available. Often new developments get a fraction of the power they need and apply for because of deficient infrastructure or various other reasons for a shortage of power. Several new developments have, in fact, been abandoned for this very reason. This is also a common problem for older establishments undergoing modernization. Even in instances where the power is available, the cost of an electrical upgrade is prohibitive. Sadly, there was very little that could be done to solve this problem. That is, until Pendulum Energy introduced the PowerGuard system that could mitigate the problem to a large extent. A case in point is the magnificent Knysna Golf Club, which suffered a devastating fire some time ago. Having rebuilt their clubhouse and installing all modern conveniences, they faced the dilemma of a very serious shortage of power. They applied for 250 amps per phase, but the power utility didn't have the capacity for an upgrade and they had to contend with the old 150 amps per phase. Their requirement was compromised to such an extent that they would not have been able to apply power to the facility without first switching off a portion of the load. In short, they could not accommodate a cold pickup. Mitchell Electrical was commissioned to install a PowerGuard system for the management of the geysers, heat pumps, boilers and air conditioners.
My name is Steve Wright. I'm the owner of Mitchell Electrical. We have been the PowerGuard agent on the Garden route, particularly Plettenberg Bay and Knysna areas, for the last 4 years. In that time, we've never had a single failure of the unit. The unit's been very, very useful insofar as overcoming problems with overload power tripping. In particular, we have installed the unit at the Knysna Golf Club, whereby following a major refurbishment, their power consumption increased by roughly 25% with additional air conditioners, heat exchange system instead of a paraffin boiler and various others in the modernisation of the building. Prior to this, we had regular tripping problems, overload tripping problems. Since with the installation of the unit, we have none at all, none whatsoever. The unit is completely seamless to the client. In fact, they hadn't even realized that it was installed in their kiosk and on their air conditioning units. When we showed them, they were surprised, they were very pleased we'd overcome the problem in such a seamless manner. We continue to represent PowerGuard in the area and will continue to promote this product as we have found it to be extremely reliable and very good in limited power supply applications.
Our specialized monitoring system was used extensively to aid phase balancing by allowing Steve to monitor peak load profiles over extended periods. From the graphs, it can be seen that far fewer shed instructions were required after our phase migration suggestions were implemented. The installation of a 16-channel PowerGuard system solved this facility's problems completely. Without a sophisticated power management system, they would not have been able to operate at all. The golf coordinator, Simon Terblanche, agrees.
My name is Simon Terblanche. I worked at Knysna Golf Club. I'm the golf coordinator. I've been working at the Knysna Golf Club for about 13 years. Our clubhouse burned down a few years ago and was rebuilt. With the old clubhouse, we had numerous power failures and power surges and trips about every single day because of all our appliances that we used. But when we built a new clubhouse, we installed a PowerGuard system, which have been very effectively. We're using now more appliances than we used before, and we haven't had one trip since the new clubhouse was built.
Keep in mind that no electrical upgrade to accommodate all the new appliances was done. They had to make do with the old 150 amp supply because more power was simply not available. This installation is therefore ample proof that a facility requiring 250 amps per phase can operate successfully with major reductions in supply. Savings of this magnitude at a national level could contribute significantly to alleviate the power shortages at unchallenged cost effectiveness. On a smaller scale, but equally important, the calculated diversity for this dream house in a very exclusive estate was 150 amps per phase. This was the figure applied for and granted by the utility. When the time arrived to connect to the mains electricity supply, the owners discovered to their horror that only 80 amps were available. By this time, everything had been designed and planned around the 150 amp supply. An upgrade would not be available for 2 years and would have cost far in excess of 100,000 rand. Almost half of the electrical appliances would not be serviced. The elaborate climate control served by the air conditioners and underfloor heating, as well as other refined gadgetry, would be useless. After spending many millions, this dream turned into a nightmare for the owners. The crisis was averted when the electrical contractor installed 3 8-channel PowerGuard units for about 20,000 rand, less than 1/5 of the cost of an upgrade, which was not available anyway. The winter of 2012 was the 3rd operational year for PowerGuard at this address, which is a particularly demanding environment. Even though an electrical upgrade is now available, the owners decided against it. They deemed it unnecessary. This case, in effect, illustrates that PowerGuard offers a cost-effective solution to any consumer experiencing insufficient electrical supply. Considering the state of the country's electrical grid, it's even more significant that an almost 50% saving to the utility was accomplished. Converting a residence into a guest house almost invariably goes hand in hand with overloaded electrics. Adding a bathroom to every bedroom and installing air conditioners and heaters, plus some high-consumption appliances in the kitchen, normally loads the system to the hilt. During the lead-up to the 2010 World Cup, one such case was the very elegant Little Tuscany guest house in the northern suburbs of Johannesburg. While fully booked, they were plagued by frequent electrical trips, which threatened their extraordinary reputation. The cost of an upgrade was just short of 200,000 rand, and further cost implications were implied by the needs to replace existing cables from the upgraded supply throughout the facility, which would have required lifting of paving and major construction work. Time constraints ruled out this option anyway. They had an almost insurmountable problem on their hands.
Hi, my name is Brandon Weir-Smith, the owner of Little Tuscany Boutique Hotel in Bryanston. Just before the World Cup in 2010, we had a numerous amount of problems with our electricity and power cuts, and we installed PowerGuard in the hotel. Since then we've had no problems whatsoever, and it's really played a big part in getting our things sorted out. So moving forward, we look forward to working with them and making things even better, and it's been wonderful.
PowerGuard rendered an extremely cost-effective and immediate solution by installing 7 2-channel demand controllers. The total complement of PowerGuard units cost less than 30,000 rand and was installed in 1 day without any disruption whatsoever. World Cup guests enjoyed Little Tuscany's legendary hospitality without a single power cut. This is irrefutable proof that PowerGuard can stop the power drain without costing the earth, literally and figuratively. If you are interested in solving your power shortage problems cost-effectively, please visit our website at pendulum-energy.co.za, where you'll find all our contact details.